strengthen Liberia's capacity to understand, value, and sustainably manage the natural resources that underpin our nation's development. Liberia is blessed with extraordinary natural wealth, one of West Africa's most extensive remaining tropical forests, unique biodiversity found nowhere else in the world, abundant freshwater ecosystems, and coastal and marine resources that sustain thousands of households. Yet these assets have historically been invisible in national accounting systems, unmeasured, underdeveloped, and often overexploited. Without recognizing the economic value of nature, development planning risks becoming short-sighted, costly, and unsustainable. So the natural capital accounting helps address this gap. It provides a science-based, data-driven framework to ensure that nature is factored into economic decisions, whether in forestry, mining, fisheries, agriculture, energy, and unsustainable, energy or infrastructure planning. For Liberia, NCA should not only be an academic exercise. It should be a tool for national resilience, helping policymakers answer critical questions. What is the value of our forests, rivers, oceans, and biodiversity? How are these assets changing? What benefits do they provide to our economy and to our people? And what must we do to safeguard them for future generations? So the purpose of this small grants program we are launching today is designed to build local capacity and support practical NCA-related work led by Liberian institutions. It will strengthen the skills of research institutions and universities in environmental data collection and analysis. It will support civil society organizations in promoting data transparency and environmental governance. It will engage communities to engage grassroots knowledge on our ecosystem services, and it will encourage young researchers to explore innovative approaches in natural capital assessment. So by expanding the national talent pool, we are not only improving data quality, but also empowering Liberians to drive the future of conservation and sustainable development in their own country. Conservation International remains committed to support Liberia's vision for a green, prosperous, and climate-resilient future. Our ongoing partnership with the Environmental Protection Agency and other governmental institutions and many other stakeholders reflect this commitment. Through this program, CIA is honored to contribute technical assistance, global expertise, and catalytic funding to strengthen Liberia's environmental governance system, ensuring that nature's value is recognized, protected, integrated into developmental priorities. So I hope this will be a milestone and a foundation wherein we can help our communities, to go green. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Emo. That's how I call him, how he likes to be called. So thank you for the voluntary applause. So now let me ask you, as the man who has the authority to ask you to do something, to give me a very big applause. Emo was talking, he mentioned key points that we need to draft on. Our accounts are bare bone accounts. The statistician know what I'm talking about. Nature, value of nature has not been placed on our account. So to speak, it's like empty. It doesn't have clothes on. So it does not look beautiful. And because of that, we do not attach value. We do not know how valuable it is to us. When gifts can be valuable to you, when you feel the needs, when you recognize the importance of the gift, it becomes valuable to you. So we need to attach value to nature, our God-given gift, so that it can help our informed decision making. Thank you, Emo. You know, the thing I like about him, even though the interaction's short yet, but the men were coming home, going back to that place called diaspora, you were always connected to home. So when this opening existed, it was easy. So you tell your men who dead, and then be coming home with. When they come, when I be putting towel on their neck with bottle of water in your hand and behaving like dysentery all around. They can make things hard, but for him it was easy. Thank you, Emo. That was a nice information for us. The way you want me to introduce myself and do the one, eh? Yeah. Okay. My name is Elijah Wapo. Don't bother about it. It's a very long name. And you can just call me Wapo, or some people know how to call me. So today I will be telling you briefly about this natural capital accounting and how it brings you up. I'm going to just summarize, David knows it better, and then tell you a little thing about the small brain. You know, the natural capital accounting, like Emo put it, this is a first of its kind in Liberia. And it's intended to reawaken us so that we look aside, we can value what God has given us. And some, it will be difficult for you to see dollar rate on it. But when you know the services they provide and how it benefits you, then it becomes valuable to you. So this project comes from the Green Global Environment Facility, that's what they call GEF. The funding comes through the Environmental Protection Agency. And the government of Liberia put money. That Global Environment Facility, they apportion funding on countries. And then the designated national authority is the Environmental Protection Agency. It hosts the money and distribute it to accredited entities with credible, capacity to perform it. So this aspect, the first and very difficult one, was given to Conservation International. And it aims to integrate nature's economic value into national development planning. So it means that we're putting ecosystem into our national development planning. And one way to make it practical, CI assigned technician with the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, the current national development agenda we have, the EARD, nature is incorporated into that. NCA is incorporated into that. So, and because of their contribution and the contribution of others, we have exclusive pillow on environmental sustainability. Am I correct? Yes. Yes. That pillow 5, right? Yes. MLDB. Yes. Very beautiful. So it's intended to help us to now think that nature has value. When it comes to biodiversity, the carbon, the ecosystem services, like coastal protection or filtration, the whole thing, the whole air, by air, nature can filter it for us. So it has some goal that it has a natural capital accounting that we're talking about. We develop maps, accounts for biodiversity, forest carbon, non-timber forest product, their value, freshwater services, and so forth when it comes to the account. We produce a same map and the rest of it. Sometimes in the past regime, this project was able to give a map presented to the past president. It's launched and it's online. This project is also intending to ensure community incentives are provided with communities like those in Grand Kima, Grand Bassa, Margibi, Riverside, to sign agreements so they too can get involved in protecting what God has given us. And in doing that, not because it belongs to them, but in doing that, they get something back. And it remains with them. So they will continue to get something out of it. So a community incentives, incentivizing community, providing them green jobs. Then it made mention of some of it having to do with sustainable livelihoods, support to women, fishmonger, and the community. And we are here to see how to support this, including capacity building and policy integration. This occasion is to present to you that funding in this program has contracted community-based institutions to give them grant to extend it to locals, so it does not remain in Monrovia. It flows down to the community. And that was somewhere yesterday, that climate justice, that climate finance, that trickle down to the most needy. And that's what the president of this country has been talking about, to ensure that anything we do here, the people down the line should feel it. So I'm fond of this small grant program, because it is not giving loan to marketeers around here, but in the affected community. So they value the program and help us to green our accounts when they are produced. So we are happy that we are working not only with Green Global Environment Facility. I keep saying green because I'm the focal point on GCF, Green Climate Fund, as alternate focal point. We have FDA, Ministry, Legis, Ministry of Mines and Energy, Maritime, and a whole lot, including the University of Liberia, that we're working with. And some of the projects that have been sponsored by the Swedish Embassy or the government, support this program. So this small grant will talk about 4 institutions from the landscape that are receiving funding to ensure that people, the natural capital accounting, does not only produce the account, but also affects people down the line, so they can feel it. They can feel it in their pocket. So David will come and tell you about more, but the program here, it ain't got too much life to live here. We have to work hard so that we can sustain it by ensuring that it continues, so that besides producing mangrove accounts, we are able to decide which other account we can produce. Maybe forest account, so that we can only think about logging, chopping it down, or growing it through charcoal. We can know that the forest has several uncountable values, that you can make choices to see which one to go to. Should we produce a account of water? We got abundance of water. The water account will tell you what all we have in the water, how many water we got, the services water provide for us, and so much account to produce. But this is a premium account, and we are grateful that we account this far with a natural capital accounting. So thank you very much. That a little I know, in view of the time that I can give you, David who been managing it, will come subsequently to come and tell you more. Thank you very much. Y'all clap for me. Y'all clap for me again. Okay, yeah. You think I'll cheat myself? Good. With this now, I'm pleased to call on Mr. David Dix, who is the Jeff Portfolio Senior Manager that acts. You know the act? They can call B-Trader. When you see you think that he's not important, negligible. But don't mind, he just ring. So let's give him a big hand of applause. Which way? Yeah, council. When I saw him before, I thought I pick it, but you will see.
So good morning, and please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. Mr. Wabo already called my name. My name is David X. Dennis, and I lead the Jeff portfolio at CI. So as part of today's activity, we will also be explaining to you what this project is about. Some of you are very familiar with the work we've been doing because you've been participating some way, somehow. But there are others too who are here for the first time who don't know what NCA, for example, stands for. So we will do a brief presentation to highlight some of the achievements we've been able to gather over the last 5 to 6 years. So the project is called the Natural Capital Accounting Project. So you hear NCA, you see a rating on the hats, you see a rating on the t-shirts. So you see a rating on the hat, on the t-shirt, it stands for Natural Capital Accounting. So this project, like Mr. Wapo said, is a government project, meaning it comes from the JEF. The JEF is the Global Environment Facility. They give funding to countries, but they do that through their government. So the EPA is the National Designated Authority of the JEF. And so if you have to get JEF funding, no matter how qualified you have to get authorization from the National Designated Authority. So in this case, CI applied for the JEF funding, got authorization from EPA, and then we got the grant. So the total grant is around 15 million, but that 15 million is not what we are implementing in. The JEF usually give you around between 8 to 10% of the total envelope that the project is worth. And the rest of it comes through what we call in-kind co-financing from government institutions. So if you see there, we have 3.9 million physical cash that we're using for implementation. And then the rest of the money, around 11 million, is in-kind co-financing. So like you see there, the executing agency are CI and the EPA. And the co-financiers, people who are co-financing the project, they are listed there. Most of them fully represented here today. We have the EPA, of course, LISGIS, our statistic house, the Liberia Maritime Authority, and the FDA. And then CI is also co-financing 2 other projects. So these are the people who are co-financing the NCA project. Now, the project started since 2020. Officially, the project ended this year, June. But then, due to some of the challenges the project encountered during implementation, we had to request a low-cost extension. And so you see there, the low-cost extension period is as of July 1, 2025 to March 30, 2026. So this project has suffered a lot. I'm the third project manager on the project, so you can imagine. So there have been a lot of ups and downs. But we're happy to be where we are today. So the NCA project, we will give you a brief overview of what the project is all about. We have 3 components on the project. Component 1 looks at natural capital accounting. And to do this is to build capacity of government officials and technicians to understand the concept of natural capital accounting, like Mr. Wabu was saying, so that we can be able to bring, for example, our national budget and other policy instruments in the country. So as part of that, we will also give you update on how far we are concerning that objective or component. Component 2 is why we are here. Component 2 looks at innovative financing mechanisms. How can we finance natural capital accounting processes? Do we look only at communities, or do we also work with small medium enterprises or local NGOs? The approach we use is the local NGO approach, and we're going to hear from most of them here today. And then the third component looks at providing incentive directly to communities to conserve coastal natural capital. So this one, we work directly with the communities, we sign conservation agreements, and then we implement those agreements. And through that, we improve communities' livelihood. So the project scope, it runs from Cape Mount down to Cape Palmas. So meaning the entire coastline of Liberia is project scope. But then there was some adjustment during implementation. For example, component 1 that looks at developing a national natural capital account for Liberia, particularly a mangrove account, starts from Cape Mount and covers the entire coast. Component 2 that looks at innovative financing, empowering SMEs and local NGOs to work with communities in a sustainable way to continue to conserve coastal natural capital, also covers from Cape Mount to Cape Palmas. But component 3 that looks at incentive to communities, the scope of component 3 was adjusted because we had serious challenges with wear and tear. Taking vehicles to Grand, for example, to go and engage with communities for conservation agreement signing. When you return, you spend over $4,000-5,000 sometimes to repair the vehicles. So we took that to the project steering committee and discussed that the wear and tear on the vehicle is high, and the challenge of implementing conservation agreement in hard to reach areas is cost intensive. So if we continue at this rate, we might not be successful. And so in their wisdom, they said, you cannot put the entire Southeast out, because our proposal was we went from Cape Mount to Grand Bassam. And they said, no, you need to add one county from the Southeast, which is Riverside, so that you do at least certain component of the Southeast. So we went with that, took it to the Jeff, the donor, and it was approved. So component 3 covers from Cape Mount down to Riverside. Now, the project has targets, things that we set out to achieve as a project. One of the targets is to have one natural capital account, especially mangrove, established in Liberia. And we are on that course. We will give you an update on how far we are. The next thing is to train at least 25 technicians and 25 policymakers. So in totality, it's about 50 people we are supposed to train. That's targets under component 1. Component 2 and 3 targets, the one on the far left there talks about at least 2 revenue streams being developed to support long-term conservation. So one of those revenue streams is a smuggling program that we are launching here today. And the other one being a blue carbon possibility. We did some assessment and we will also update you. Then the other one says income within coastal and mangrove communities increased by at least 10%. So we have been implementing conservation agreement in these coastal communities, and we have also done some baseline independent assessment to see what level of impact these interventions are having on local communities. And for example, people who are benefiting from frontline conservationist program, they get stipend every month for patrolling their own communities, with our VSLA for women in the communities to support their sustainable income. So those are ways we've been able to improve these communities. Then we also, from an environmental or ecological perspective, working to conserve or put under improved management at least 16,000 hectares of forest, mangrove forest and tropical forest in these communities. doing conservation agreement signing, communities commit to conservation actions. That we will not do this, we will not do that, and then the project provide benefits to them. So as part of those give and take, we be able to protect their community forests and even the mangrove areas. Recently, the mangrove inventory that was done for Liberia, the results show areas where we have active conservation agreement, the mangrove cover is quite rich. So it means that there's some level of positivity in what we are trying to achieve. And the last target there on the component 3 is to reach at least 6,000 people disaggregated by male and female. I think we will try to see this number when you look at the 10 different conservation agreements we've signed and implemented across the project landscape. The number of people, our small grantees who are here today, are also working with in different communities. When you put all of that together, including the government people who are benefiting from capacity building, we are sure to exceed that number. Now, component 1 key achievement. What have we achieved so far as a project? It's a consultancy firm. It's a consortium of consultancy firms called OICO. OICO is the general name, but we have OICO as an institution, we have ID, and then we have Lake Piso Solutions. So there are 3. One of them based in Australia, the other based in Spain, and then Lake Piso Solutions from Liberia. So the idea was through the PSC, a direct recommendation from the executive director that if we were to get people to train government people, if it's an international, first we should scout the country and see whether we do not have that capacity here, which we did. Unfortunately, we could not have people with that expertise, so we reached out to the folks in the diaspora, and we were able to get OICO and ADI to collaborate. But then the instruction was if you get an international NGO, firm to come and do the training, they must have a Liberian connection, like a local context, so that there is knowledge exchange. So Lake Piso is a Liberian group headed by Azet Vatupa. So they are supporting OICO and ADI to implement this activity. So we got them, they've been training people. Most of you in the room here have participated in the training. They've completed from module 0, introductory module, all the way to module 5. So the technical training has ended. What is happening now is the work behind the scene, getting all of the data they need so that they establish the account. And I must also use this opportunity to inform you that they want to certificate those who participated in the training. We're having a back and forth with them because when you look at their attendance record, only 20 people completed from module 0 to 5, correct? The rest of the people either missed 1 or 2 along the way, and so the question is, do we certificate them? That is not my decision to make. That is not even CR's decision. We reach that out to the Technical Advisory Committee and the PSC, and then they will come up with how they want it done. And whatever decision come up, we communicate to the consultant. Like we said, it's a government project, it's the government who will make the decision. So based on what government will tell us, we say maybe certificate the 20 or maybe create some avenue for others who may certain bodies to do it and then get certificated. So those are the proposals. So another thing we've been able to do in 2022, this project initially the way it was designed, the Moore Center was the one leading component 1. The Moore Center of Science is a scientific team within CI, but that sits in HQ, in headquarters. So they were implementing component 1. They were supposed to establish a mangrove account. But at some point along the way, decision was made by senior leadership that the Moore Center should be removed from the project. You cannot be implementing a project for a particular country, then one team say far. So let everything happen from within the country where the project is being implemented. So the Moore Center was removed, but before they left the project, they came to Liberia in 2022 and were able to launch the National Strategy and Action Plan for NCA implementation. So they did that. Then OICO also, like we said, they're working to establish the account. Per the project design, the account is going to be housed at the statistics house, LISTIS. So we're also discussing with them behind the scene to do specialized training for people who will be managing the account directly. So what kind of information you want, how do they give it to you? We will be reaching out to folks to inform you how far we have with the specialized training. Then we also, Mr. Wapo mentioned briefly how we try to bring our policies at national level by mainstreaming the value of nature into our development processes. So just a little update, some of the policies currently that we are confident that has NCA mainstream. One of them is the public investment management policy. I think it's a Ministry of Finance document. One of them is the draft carbon policy that is being developed now. Another one is the nationally determined contribution, especially NDC 2.0. We're not too confident about 3.0 to say it has been mainstream, but we're confident about 2.0. And then he talked about the AID, also the CDAs, the county development agendas. We also did some work there. So this slide is just to show you pictures of the capacity building we have with government partners. Some of you in the room here are in these photos. Yeah. So we had a training at the UL Climate Change Lab. And it was very, very insightful. A lot of learning. Component 2 achievement so far is because of component 2 we call you here. So component 2 is the small grant program. We initially have 4 local NGOs that were subcontracted to implement our small grant program. But along the way, one of them dropped off because of some, I would say, legal issues with their foundation. So they dropped out. That's Budget Liberia. So the rest of the other 3 are here, and in total we have been able to, or when we conclude the disbursement, we'll be spending around 316,000 on the remaining 3. In fact, if you add budget, because budget receives some payments, so in total the entire envelope for the small grant will be around 316,000. So they will come here and tell you what they're doing, where they're working, so that you get to know for yourselves. Then there was another consultancy, another way to make sure that we sustainably use mangrove ecosystems and wetlands was to open the eyes, for lack of better words, of government officials or partners on the concept of using a trust fund model. Because if you want to be sustainable, project-based interventions are not sustainable. They will come for 3 years, 5 years, and they are gone. So if you have a trust fund, a sustainable, financing scheme, you can use that to do a lot. So the model we tried to display was Liberia already has a Liberia Conservation Fund, which is a trust fund. So it really doesn't make sense developing different trust funds. But what you can do is to develop what we call a subsidiary fund. So you have the Liberia Conservation Fund, and then you have something for mangroves. So people using mangrove ecosystems can put something into the trust fund or into the mangrove trust fund, which can be used both for mangrove and then at some point support a bigger trust fund, which is a Liberia Conservation Fund. So we got a consultant who came to do the capacity building. Some of you here were also part of that training at Corina. So as part of the training, the consultant developed a roadmap of how we can develop a subsidiary fund for mangrove. So the roadmap is there, and we even went further and asked the consultant to do what we call a policy brief. Because the document is over 60 pages, it gave policymakers difficulty to sit down and digest all of that. So we asked the consultant to develop for us a policy brief with key messages that policymakers can just speak and run with. So all of those documents are available, and we're open to sharing them with partners when they need them. Another thing we also have been able to do on component 2 is to do a blue carbon feasibility. Because we're working on mangrove and wetland areas, carbon discussion in those places are blue carbon. The ones you get from forests are green carbon. So we did a feasibility assessment of 2 priority sites in Liberia, Lake Iso, and then Marshall Wetland. And the report is out. It shows a lot of promise for those areas when it comes to blue carbon. So the idea under this project, especially component 2, the 2 revenue streams we're looking to improve. One is the small grant program to link it to the Liberia Conservation Fund, and then the second one is the blue carbon possibility. So the small grant program is part of component 2, and that's why we were called here. So the picture you see on the left there, before we got to this stage, we try to be as transparent as possible and participatory as possible. So what did we do? The project established what we call the Small Grant Appraisal Committee. So that committee comprises 9 line ministries of government. 9 ministries of government. Some of you here, your institutions were represented doing the vetting. So when we put a call for proposal out, people apply. And we call these people to come and evaluate those proposals that came. So those 9 line ministries and agencies were also supported by UNDP, because UNDP has a lot of background when it comes to small grant program. So we had a UNDP person there, and then we also had LBDR representative, but we could not get that person to come and participate. So, but we try to make it as participatory as possible, so that everybody can make 1 or 2 input into the selection of the small grantees, so that when they implement, it's not like CI alone unilaterally collecting these people and give them funding. So some of you in the room here were part of the vetting. You vetted these people, and that's how you selected them. And so that's why they are here. So the other photo there is we try to build their capacity. One of the reasons why we launched this program is to be able to work with these people to bring them up to an appreciable knowledge of how you can manage a grant. And so we did training for them, took them to Buchanan, and did some real capacity building. And along the way, as they submit reports, we go back and we work with them. The idea is not only to take the money from CI and go implement, but it's to enhance their financial capacity, their ability to do better bookkeeping, keep good financial record, because through that, they are able to apply for bigger grants in the future. So, on our component 3, where we work directly with communities, we say we have active conservation agreements in 10 different areas. Some of them are clustered because the communities are close to one another and we don't want to exclude people. So we put them into clusters because the funding is limited and we have more people who want to participate. So we cluster some of the communities. In Riverside, we have 2 clusters. We have the Timbo cluster, and then we have the Sesto City cluster. And then we have a community across the Sesto River called Nimba. Some of you who are from there will know that community. Then, so far, through the implementation of our conservation agreement, we've been able to provide at least up to 250 green jobs. So green job in the sense that FCs, frontline conservationists, are recruited from the communities. They get trained by the FDA, EPA, NCA on how to do what we call citizen science, how to collect data from their community. We train them using tablets. Our colleague there, Solomon Kalon, is the one in charge of that, the MNE for West and Central Africa. He goes there, train them in basic GIS, how to collect the data. FDA is there to train them how to do patrols, how the rangers can patrol. They teach them it, and EPA is there to give them some training on how to manage the environment. What are those pointers? When you see, you need to raise concern. So there are a lot of success stories that we can give you. For example, in Baza, the communities have become, from sea turtle killers, they have become conservators of sea turtles. There are videos on the internet that can show all of that. So the pictures you see I'll talk about the picture later. Another thing we also have been able to do is through a consultant, a local consultant called C-Total Watch Liberia. We were able to, we initially started assessing all the areas we have implemented conservation agreement to be able to have a one approach, a national framework for conservation agreement. But then the government of Liberia through FDA have already requested something of sort from UNDP. So the best thing to do was to collaborate with the UNDP consultant. So we took our consultant and tried to introduce him to the UNDP team, and they started working together. So now, all of what he collected from the field, shared with the UNDP team, and together we'll be able to support the national conservation agreement. We call it the FDA call it the Community Conservation Guideline. So it has been developed. It hasn't been validated yet officially. Most of the pre-validation meetings have happened. And so, yeah, for that document, CI was able to collaborate with UNDP to get it ready. And then, yeah, we also are conducting gender and safeguard training for all our communities, telling them why gender-based violence is something that should not be happening in the communities. We give them flyer, we give them hotline. If something of sort is happening, this is the hotline reporting. So that is also happening. And then, yeah, we usually provide small, in-kind grant to our government partners every year to support their logistical, aspect. So sometimes they need some equipment, so we have that structure in place for support to the government each year. So the pictures you see there are pictures depicting what the Frontline Conservationist Program looks like. Initially, they get trained, you see them in their color clothes, and they're getting trained. And then now you see them in the green uniform, they are trained and collecting data for their community. So these are very important frontliners. They are the ones who give us information of how communities are managing the conservation agreement. If we find that they are not doing well, we complain them to the PSC and we take them off. And so that's how we've been doing. And the picture you see here is the picture from the capacity building at the New Climate Change Lab. So the project quickly has 21 indicators. The image you see there, the graph you see shows the level of progress we've made against those indicators. All the ones in green have been completed. The ones in yellow are pending, meaning ongoing. They are ongoing, sorry. And then the ones in red are pending, meaning we stay working to complete that. We've had challenges along the way. We discussed some when we started the presentation about staff turnover. That was challenged, but it's in the past now, so we'll be moving forward. But then one of the challenges we have is a tight schedule to complete activities in line with the low-cost extension. It's so pressing. We have, as we speak, so many activities to complete before March 30. We have sometimes inadequate collaboration with government partners. Sometimes partners say, I am the lead on this, we are not the lead, and sometimes this whole and who can influence or impact what they want to do. We also are fighting to continuously convince our partners that mobile money is the only way for those who work at CI Liberia. If you can't accept mobile money, then we're not able to work with you, because some of us will lose our job if we start giving cash. In fact, we're not getting cash because finance will not give it to you. So it's a challenge, but we're trying to overcome it. Some of you, when you attend our meetings now, you get real-time response when it comes to transportation. And then changing government caused a lot of problem for us, especially to get full financing letters. When you go, some of them, I can't call name here, but they will call you to do presentation of the project. So now 2 different times. The first presentation, you I want to say, I brought in men to listen to you. You say, how much we supposed to give for full financing? You say, Chief, can I physical carry that letter? You say, but you get that letter, go to the mansion, you know what they will do to me? So all those things, it caused delay in us getting full financing letter. But for NCA, we were successful, we got all of our full financing. So the key lessons we've learned so far during our implementation is that adaptive management is important. As things happen along the way, you learn from it, you adjust, and you keep moving. So we learn a lot. And also, when we work with communities, we have to use FPIC, making sure that communities are involved, especially our conservation agreements. We cannot sign agreement with communities when they do not understand the agreement once. So when we do that, we give them a copy of the agreement. Sometimes they send it to their children in Monrovia to read. So now the community will call you back. That thing what you read, we understand, you can't explain. And then we explain to them. And then sometimes we say, the first benefit we ask you for, the way we understand it, and we don't want our benefit again. We change to the one. It's our responsibility to follow what the community says. So that's what we do, and that's our own way of implementing the FPIC approach. Collaboration among stakeholders, we say it's very important that we collaborate. For example, the JEF project, without government intervention, you're not successful. If government does not give the co-financing, the JEF will always interpret it as the country is not ready for the project. And so if you cannot work closely with government people, then it becomes a problem for me, especially on our JEF projects. So mobile money adaptability is something we keep pushing, we're learning, we ourselves. When we started, we were bad, but I think we have improved, if you can bear witness. So we keep improving. And the next step, the participatory land use plan is being implemented. Yesterday we had a kickoff meeting with the consultant. The good thing is one of the small grantees here also got subcontracted to do the participatory land use plan. So the Nature Compact is doing that for us. And then we plan a socio-economic inline survey to see where we are taking communities from. And yeah, so that the 10% we talk about whether that's true or a lie, and we will know. The NCA Climate School, one of the ways we try to sell the project is to go to the schools and let the children know about natural capital accounting. Some of these people will become EP executive director tomorrow. They say, maybe I heard that word when I was in college, when I was in the university. So we targeted 7 universities. We'll be taking them on a tour to show them what natural capital is, what mangrove conservation is, so that they get to know these things. And then the specialized training for those who will be managing the account is something we are working toward. We have to do some contract amendment to get the consultants to come back and do their specialized training. And then the technical advisory committee, we plan to take them out of the TAC, PSC, whoever is available, to go to our office sites where these 10 conservation agreements are being implemented, so they see for themselves into our communities as we are rounding out to close the project. So part of our next step is to plan for phase 2 of NCA. Now we have a baseline. What can we do? So we've been discussing with our traditional partners and godfather the EPA, because they are the national designated authority, to do like a freshwater account. Since we're doing it for mangrove now, can we do for freshwater? And then if there's possibility, maybe we do for forest or for fishery. So those are conversations we are having. In the background. EPA was clear during our recent PSC that they want to see the results of in phase 1, so that they can inform the decision for phase 2. So we're working with them. They are part of it. They're seeing the results. So far, so good. That's what the project has been doing. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Dean. I didn't see the presentation, so I see my box, and then I have seen you. Thank you so much. Let's give him a very big hand. When he started, you were talking about challenges. He may mention the turnover of a project manager. But the thing that he didn't say was what I come and tell you. The first person was Bill McGill Jones. You know who Bill McGill Jones is today? The Deputy Minister for Administration and Finance. That's the first project manager. Then he didn't say that Dr. Emmanuel Olatunji was the next. And what he didn't tell you is that Emmanuel Olatunji is the director and head of the graduate program on climate change and environment at the University of Liberia. So when people leave that project, they can become big president. So see, your leader then you become big. But within to tell you that that position can make you claim. Just an NCA manager is now the portfolio, portfolio manager. And you see, that seed got fertilizer, it can make you grow. All right, good. But are true at all. The evidences are there. Thank you, plenty. Yes, this project is really, really unique. Like I told you, it's like a flagship project. So I was talking with Joseph. I said, Joseph, David, I'm saying something. Solomon, you the M&E man. Are you talking the story? Are you recording the story of the project? So that when people not around, they see the story, maybe that short video from the capital to the butchers. And one of your best projects I know about since I know Conservation International is your conservation agreement with the community. Evidence to prove that. Very, very effective. Are you talking the story? Can we go and see, the story online? Are we able to let the lawmakers, the ministers see the success story in 5 minutes video, for example, so that's something to think about. But thank you very much. We know that the project had challenges. And the one you mentioned with question, in fact, while we were here, before coming here, I was told that CIA needs to make short presentation to the senior management team of EPA on this. So that's an invitation. Plenty and let us know. Come with your M&E, your country manager, your technician, you made a short presentation, even at 30 minutes or less, and let the senior management team, what you try to do, and even other institutions ask you, find a time. We're trying to stamp the project on their heart and make an indelible mark, so that when they sit together, anytime they can be able to speak about it. And that will constitute how we go further with the next account where we have to continue. So thank you very much. That was insightful. But I want to tell you something before we go further. I'm telling you so that everything that the project has, even though they say the mobile money business can get in harder and we also can get harder, but I think it's improving. Because when we're in Basel, we're cha-cha. So today, if there's anything, will be cha-cha today. All right. But this is why I want to tell you that joke and not part of the program. There was a man who was a minister of youth and sport in Liberia. Way back. And way back story I come and tell you. The president against Sam and salary check on him. Chief, you send it? Okay, I'll call you guys. I'm not getting you. Send it because I want to fly. Okay. They're making some stuff, so now I'm not working for any of you here. So this guy was Minister of Youth and Sport, and the late President Do used to love football. In fact, he was called skipper. Every time he play, you score. Executive line. Every time you play, you score. But then one tough team from Africa was playing Lone Star, and they're supposed to qualify Lone Star for the Wafu Cup, Wafu tournament, West Africa, football union or something like that. So the president needed a game. So he called the minister John Paibe. And other people know John Bear, you know John Bear. John Paibe was the minister of sports. And I think he was related to his wife or something. So John Paibe was given an envelope to make sure that Lone Star wins. You want me to come by that way you're trying to do. So they gave him an envelope and he ensured that the team would be in the country 4 days before the game. So anything can happen. And then it did come. When the team John Bell received them from the airport, he went and reported to the president. The president said, Mr. Minister, everything all right? He said, yeah, everything all right, I get it. So he took them to the hotel, he showed them the field, the ball head field, Anthony Tottenham Stadium where they will practice. Every morning you'll go there, from there you'll go back to the president. The president asked, Mr. Minister, is everything all right? He said, hey, don't worry, Mr. President, I get it. He had it until the game time. The game time came, of course, that time, those of you who know Don't Start team, you can name it. Few best one in the pool, defense minister in the center, Fred. You know, Washington Blade, you got Amadou Sano, you got Alexander Pugh, you got Simeon Monta. That I don't even know because we know what that is. Then you got Wizard Driveler. We are on the 7, you got James Alonso Diva taking the 10, and you know the story. So they're a very strong team, but the team was very strong too that were opposing Lone Star. They played nothing happy, and the people knew that something was going to happen. Yeah, the minister just talking to them, he said he get it. So the first half, they played 50-50. Nothing happened. They surprised the president. The president called the minister. Minister, what's going on? He said, don't worry. My friend, the minister had a thing until after the first half, the people knew that nothing was happening now. So when they knocked down Wizard Dribbler in the back, the referee will be here that you were not seeing it. The lineman will put out the flag, referee can see it. They will knock down Diva, referee can see it. They knock down the goalkeeper, referee can blow. President called the man and said, why before pay? That kind of thing they can do why before pay? So they say, I know why before pay. They were not trying again. All right. Thank you very much. Don't do jump right there. Who calls Salinsa and open, material and diva and open, eh? All right. So that was John Ben. That's true story, I tell you. Of course. All right. What made you go there? That's it. So what we are about to do now, we'll do this, and after that we'll take a photo and come back before the lunch and the other thing. We'll conclude this program before we do the, I think, 13, and afterward, later on 13 plus. Huh? You understand what I mean? All right. All right. So we are about, I want to position those who are benefiting and scaling down the drains in the community. We want you to get set up. We are about to do what they call the patient by grantee. And what this is going to do for us is to give a highlight of what they are doing. Individual institution will come briefly and let you know what they are doing in the various communities with what they are receiving. And then we'll go by the rest of it. With this, we want to invite Vademko. Yeah. I will not focus on bad language here with their acronym. Because on that, anything can mean good things, anything can mean bad things. Yeah? I hope Vadenko is a good word. So we want Vadenko to make us a short presentation highlighting what they are doing as a way of appreciating, and presenting value for money. Who doing that? Let's clap for them.
Good morning to all. I'm Adolphus Akron, and I'm from Ademco. I'm here with my colleagues. They are all here on the front desk, and I'm going to be presenting to you our activities on the NCA project. First of all, let me say I stay on the existing protocol and say all protocols. So firstly, we're going to take you through the startup of our program, which is our achievement and many activities that we have. So the background or introduction, we see the natural capital account project through alternative agriculture and designed to promote sustainable land use and protect fragile coastal ecosystem while supporting community livelihood. The initiative focuses on introducing climate smart farming practices such as salt-tolerant crops, integrated agriculture, and agroforestry. The system that reduces pressure on marine and coastal resources. We say by balancing agricultural productivity with eco restoration, the project ensures that coastal community can improve food security and income while safeguarding our biodiversity and natural habitat. So we go straight to our project achievement. As you can see, from the onset of this program, we did our land clearing, and then we established our nursery or elevated. You see the crop there, all the seedings all ready. We see our land preparation, and from there we get to transplanting of our various crops into the soil. So we see the project implementation framework. The overall work plan has 5 components, which is clear, target, and deliverable. Component 1, we talk about our partner CR Liberia, and the project approval date up to from August 1st, 2025, up to February 28th, 2026. That's the time frame of 6 months. So we got the project in 2 districts in Cayman County, that is Galula and Tiwa district, and we also have it ongoing in 4 communities, the Fano, Tala, Sawida, and Jijale. So we say we have our initial participant, we have direct beneficiary, we say we got 80 smallholder farmers in 4 communities. We also have 80 direct beneficiary in our village saving loan association. So we have formed this group, and they are all in 4 communities that we operate. So in total, we have direct beneficiary of 160 in both the village saving and the smallholder farmers. Excuse me. So we say our land preparation, you can see the pictures up there. We talk about climate smart farming. So we did our clearing, and you see the land, we don't want to burn. So you see our land clearing there is very perfect. We did our land clearing for peanuts. We have over 4 acres plus. We have pepper 4.3. We have better about 2.4 acres of farmland, all vegetables. So for our city, we elevated 12 nurseries in 4 communities. So those 12 nurseries, right now, currently as we speak, we have planted into the soil 50,820 pepper seeds in all 4 communities. We did that successfully, and we also did for better about 55,650 garlic eggs in all our 4 project communities. So the peanuts, we have 300 kg of peanut. First, we want to be grateful to CI. Like firstly, we supply our farmers 200 kg of peanuts, but then we have some issue of peanuts. The seeding was not too good, so we appealed to our partner CI, and they considered all and gave us and bought us 100 additional kg. So we want to be grateful to that, and we also want to reflect that in this manner. So we say we got smallholder farmers group were formed successfully in 4 projects community. We have 96 smallholder farmers training in good agricultural practices, and it's in vegetables, peanuts, and project intervention. So in total, we have 114 farmers that have been trained in our farm that is agriculture for business. They are trained how to do your farm to market and manage your late fund. As we say, we want to make our farmers also great. So this aggregation chart of both the male and female in our project activities. We say we have total beneficiaries, we have 80, and we also have 54 females and 26, 54 males and 26 females. And for indirect beneficiary, we have 12 and 20, we have 22 males and 12 females. So in total of 114 direct and indirect beneficiaries on the NCA project. So component 5 has to do with our market data collection. So we say monthly, we have our marketing manager that goes to the various markets, Douala market, to find out on the prices of our crops and other activities. So we got one, we got the Douala, and we also have a Browntown, Danieltown market, we have Bonson, we have Waterside market. So we take information or data on all the prices of the various commodity that we produce on the market. So these are all the chart, these are the chart. You see the prices of the various items per community, or you see per the product, per the product. So we got the cassava. If you get the Douala market, you find cassava at a rate of 1,500 LD. The fufu, if you transform it to fufu, you also have it at 2,000, curry 6,000 per Douala market. So we get the Danieltown, you see 1,000, 1,000. So the various prices of the commodity in all 4 markets. So these are our pending activities. We have the daily saving loan activities, as you can see, the buses, the card, and the group that has been formed. You see our milk processing machine, that is the Gary processing machine that is to be purchased, that is still on hold, is pending, and our construction diver. Sorry, let me take a little while. So we see the Village Saving Loan Association. So we say we got this group in 4 communities. We got over 100 participants in all these communities. So we have the training for this Village Saving Loan is pending for the 18th of December, and we got this training for a little over 100 beneficiaries, people that will benefit from the training. They are not all farmers because we want other people to benefit. So you got people who are doing the market, you got people that is in other activities that will be part of this Village Saving. So we say the procurement and distribution of the training tools kit are pending. So we still got them pending. We have not procured them yet. So the financing will do that later. Yeah. So we say for our cassava demo site, we have 4 acres of land that have been prepared and laid out in 4 communities, our project intervention communities. So these are land, these are areas that have already been prepared. And what we are waiting for right now is to reduce the pressure on the farmer, because these same people have, these same farmers are the ones that are transplanting, at the same time doing the undercutting, and the project time is so short. So we have them, we got them engaged, and they only have 2 days, 2 to 3 days in a week to carry on such activities. So it's very tough. We have completed over 30 to 40% of that completed the cassava demo site. So we also have to do bridge making, because we have to do the construction, as you saw the design in the picture. We have over 16,000 bricks to be made, that is 4,000 per community. And we have the local material. Also, the same farmers have to gather the local material, like the stakes and other things from the bush, while the Fademco will be responsible to do the procurement of all material that, imported material, the cement, the zinc, the nails, and all other things. So these are some of our challenges. The honor building the cassava processing equipment, the set. At first, we built it around $2,000 to get a whole set, the dryer, the processor, and everything. And now when we went to the market, now it's sold as $3,200 per set. And we need 4 of these sets for all 4 communities. So it's very, very much challenging now for us. So we say challenges and recommendation. So we say despite the above mentioned achievement, the project is encountering notable challenges as follows. Deplorable road network that we know, sometimes it delays us from transporting goods, like our supplies to the farmers and movement of our bags in the field. Some of the area erosion of picking up the road, they sand too much and it just stops. So it's a heavy downpour of rain. Like we talk about climate change right now. The climate change activity every night and then we hit December, but every day it rains. So it really giving the farmers hard time. And most of the places we are farming, we are engaged in this activity, they are all sandy areas. So the challenge here for the farmers that the rain will wash away all the topsoil and then leaving pure sand for the crops. So these are really, really challenging. And we see another challenge we have here, we say 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 3 days work. In the field, the farmers have to do their own work. So we program them that you give us 2 days of your time in the field so that we can be able to carry on our project activities. So these same people will go to do undercutting, they go to transplant, and you have only 20 persons. We're talking about almost 4 acres per group. So that is very challenging for us. So these are some of the challenges, and we see here the underestimated cost of cassava processing machine at State area is one of the challenges, the biggest challenge we have now. The machine is actually sold for $3,200 per set right now. So we see the difference is $1,200 per set, and the total is $4,800. So that's the challenge for us to get our cassava processing machine for our farmers. So we say underestimated cost of also the construction. We took into consideration that their rates, let's do this, all professional advice. We say $2,000 per hole, to build a design area. You have the processing facility, you have warehouse, and all of them. We say $2,000, but now there's an issue now. We go, when you do the BOQ and things, we talk about $4,350 per unit. So the difference of $2,350 is something that we need, additionally for our project. So in total, we talk about $9,400 to complete all 4 facilities or project facilities. So thank you. These are just short presentation on our activities in the field in Grand Cayman County. Thank you.
Thank you so kindly for the splendid presentation, highlighting your challenges, the difference of 4,800 and 9,000, some more bring you to the total of 14,200. So that's the difference. So think about that, and it requires you to sit down with those who provided you the client and see how you can ensure that. And I hope you are supplying the data of beneficiaries to CI, because the number of people, you mentioned earlier, how many thousand? 6,000. And when you capture all of these, going to the 3, I think we can get closer to the people. One hustle in Liberia, in this family benefit. Maybe we can call that one now. Let's see the real one. When you want to know the difference between counterfeit and real money, which one you know? You know the real one.
You identify the fake one.
You identify the fake one. Let's see the hand of those. Let's put it in the phone. Let's put it in the hole. Let's see, if you want to know, you're doing something, you want to know the difference between good money and bad money, fake money and the real money, counterfeit and the good money. Which one, when you know, will help you? That's my question. Those who say good money, put your hand or let me see you. No, borderline, you gotta be one side. There'll be no invalid vote. Yeah? Those are you who say when you know the good money, then you know, put your hand or let me see you. What? The good money, you say, the real one. One. Oh, my man, put your hand out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Prove your hand up. 5, 6. Why you get 7, 8. Okay, we take 8. They say, if you want to know the difference between the real money and the false money, you know the good money. Those of you who say, when you know the false money, it will help you to know the good money. Put your hand on, let's see you. I told you, say, nobody will abstain. What are you abstaining for? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see the hand of those of you that are abstaining from the process. Yeah, I want to know them. Why are you abstaining? So if you are to answer, what you will say? If you are to answer, what you will say? Both? So you'll be wasting your time. So the people who say, knowing the real money, you are right. Because there are several counterfeits produced in different areas. So don't bother about them. Know the correct money. Anything you see that does not resemble the correct one, then what kind of money? That's false money. That's good. You pass the test. You can go to the university without any test. Thank you. So we want to now call Basa. Is that the name?
You got it right.
Basa to give us a quick presentation. I hope you'll not bring 14,200 stories. They will tell you what happened in 1976.
So good morning. We are from Basa. Clarence T. Powell, the project manager on this grant, and we are operating for CR, that is the Sino Building Climate Resilient. I was able to make it in time for the presentation for Greenfield, so I'm happy to be here this morning. Thanks to the good road condition, and I hope we're going to the dry season very early, so I can enjoy my.
When did you leave from there?
Eh?
When did you leave from there?
On Friday. Yeah.
One time.
I thought that is my boss. He's the one.
My name is Charles Burra, and I work for Basa Development Initiative. So when we were talking about Basa, Basa is an acronym. It's not the one you Grand Basa.
Not the one to look far away?
No. It's an acronym, rather. It stands for Born African, Stay African.
Okay, so we are going to be showcasing progress lesson in pathway for the small grain impact implemented by Basa or BDR, funded by Jeff through CR. So our presentation today will focus on the project background and objective. The progress across is standard building climate resilient objective. The baseline insight lies inform the implementation of our activities, the challenges, the lesson learned, the next steps, that is from December to February of 2026. Reflection for the summer grant program. Yeah, so let's go to the overview. So the project is a 6-month. That is to the aim of this project to strengthen climate resilience in Sano through education, awareness, green enterprise development. And this project has been funded by Jeff through CI. So we are working in close collaboration with the local EPA office, SDA, GCC, that is the Greenville City Corporation, the Sano County School System.
Sorry about it.
Yeah, so there is the project overview. Implementation timeline from August 2025 to February 2026. We are in Greenville to be specific and the nearby communities. 4 communities, 10 schools. Objective number 1 is climate literacy and tree planting. Objective 2 is community and media awareness. And objective 3 is waste management enterprise. Yeah. So there is a summary of what we'll be presenting today. That is the baseline study was conducted with households in 10 communities too. Students and teacher baseline study completed. As of now, we are training 903 students. That is 62% of the 1,500 targets that we are training. That is as of November 2025. We are training 98 teachers. That is 98% of our 100 targets. We are training 6 journalists, and that is 100% of our targets. And we have established active climate clubs in 10 schools, mostly led by female students. Student outreach is being facilitated by clubs to reach the remaining 597%. So of this remaining 597%, we are in 97 students rather. We are targeting at least 400 this month because January and February will be very busy month. That we have our IC material, waste management will go more in depth. We have MOU with the various stakeholders, EPA, SDA, GCC in the schools. And through our baseline study, we get to know that 89% of the whole school are willing to plant tree, they are willing to participate in our tree planting as of next month. And 92% students are also willing, and 4% teachers are also willing. So we also have a joint identification with GCC EPA that happened on the 14th to identify the waste management and the planting sites. We'll talk more about that in depth. So fine. Objective number 1, student training. Now 3 of the 1,005. Objective number 2, we are training. Another achievement is the 8 teacher training of the 100 teachers that we plan to train. We are training 6 teachers. That is the 6 teachers are 6 journalists. Climate change clubs, 10 established across all schools. IC materials are being produced and they are in the counties waiting for the mass community awareness. 3 planting species selection completed. So we'll be doing mangrove. We'll be planting mangrove in 4 communities. The Poor River communities will also be planting in Dani mangrove. We'll be planting in Farmersville and we'll be planting in Twestan community. So this community was selected based on our community profile. They are wetland community. And we selected this community along with the EPA and GCC. Thank you. So what are some of the constraints? One constraint I would really notice was the issue of female journalist participation. That's one of the constraints and the serious other constraint there. Thank you. So these are photos from our training. So the first training that targeted 300 students that happened in October, that was done mostly or entirely by BDI staff, that is the project staff. So we target these students. So these photos are from the first training. But the rest of the training that took up to 903, they were done with the climate club reforming, that is student related with our presence there. They were done with the climate club reforming in the school museum. So what we do is that we establish the climate club. We also work with the school to appoint one person as this project museum to make sure that the activities happen on campus. So the media and community awareness, I can say RC material have been produced. Official radio engagement, we have done the contracts. we're also working on the program and the dramas that are in progress. So the dramas will be done by students. Even the radio engagement will carry students along with us because we want it to be a community own thing. We don't want to leave from there and then forget about what we're implementing. So then those are the 4 communities that were selected. So as for the coconut, we'll be planting along the seaside. We'll plant for the corridors of Po River all the way downtown. That was selected by the GCC. And also on that coconut, GCC also requested PDR to plant or to do coconut packing in front of that building to actually purify the city. We'll also be working with GCC to make sure that happens as of early January. So somebody on screen, CR compliance review needed, local data content, but we are working on that to mitigate that constraint. We'll work with the media station to see how best we can mitigate that. And coordination with GCC media unit. Initially, our coordination with GCC actually picked up late because there was some stuff that we had to do. And thank God they understood the project and they even provided more ideas as to how we can go about. Yeah. So MOU signing. These photos are objectives 2, the journalists that are being trained. That is the first 3 set of journalists that are being trained. So this training happened to the Liberty Broadcasting Station, the first set. So objective number 3, the waste management will have a partnership with EcoTrack Solution Bureau. Is a local entity licensing the waste management with track record. So they were selected based on our time in Greenville, also like track record, or $8,000 waste management partnership signed. We are training 7 of our staffs. We also drafted a business plan. We have also procured the tricycle and we'll be presenting that support to EcoTrack as of this month. MAE tools have been developed, and we also started the waste for free service that is pending this month. So as some of our constraints, one thing we noticed is that we underestimate for the tricycle. Yes, we actually underestimate. We underestimated for the tricycle. I really wish I couldn't tell them what we did. And then early development of accounting MAE tools have been that. The transport limitation, the transport thing from Monrovia to Greenville is not easy. That was another constraint. Thank you. Yeah, so there is the waste management enterprise. The guy in the African chef that is the mayor of Greenville City. That's when he was signing the MOU. And when we were vetting the enterprise, they was doing the vetting process of the enterprise. So we have 4 enterprise or 4 businesses applying to be selected, and they was doing the vetting process. And the guy, the captain, that was from was signing the MOU with EcoTrack in the contract. So some key baseline insights. Let's go there. So the baseline insight: 50% responded I am aware of climate change. Yes, that's what we do for the household. 62% are aware of climate change. 69% are willing to pay for services, for waste management services. The remaining percentage are saying, look, I can pay them, they don't come for them, and so I'm not interested. Yes, because they don't come on time. 59% are willing to plant trees. The other one say, there will be some kind of intent coming to plant a tree. So 59% are willing to plant tree. 30% are willing to help to plant the trees. Yeah. Basically, it's what I was saying on there. Yeah, let's go to the next one. So the teachers and students based on insight and the implementations. So for the teachers and the students, the teachers level, 48% had little or no understanding of what climate change is. Yeah, so, and then 84% were willing to plant tree. And then as for the students, you see that 84% have little or no understanding. That is the 10 schools that we're working with. 84% have little or no understanding. Interestingly, during the baseline study, I experienced a student from the 5th grade class, the cohort Manjua Wisi. She in the 5th grade class of the St. Joseph School. So when the moderators were conducting the interview on the baseline, they actually said, look, we have reached our limit for 5th grade because they have to target my class. Manjua said, no. You told me to come outside. He said, you interview me. I have left my class, I don't go for me. He said, if you not interview me, go. Manjua cried. And then, interestingly, you got to know that Manjua responses was very much sad compared to other senior students. And then she actively avoided information strong. Yes, so that's one thing that actually motivated me. So whenever I go on St. Joseph campus, my first point of contact is always Manjua. Yeah. So again, 92% of the students here, they are willing to engage in the activity. I mean, students are actually involved in this activity. In fact, they can give us nickname. People. And then I agree with you. When you come on our campus, so it's quite interesting interacting with students. That was qualifications. Thank you. Okay, best practices. What are the best practices that we have learned so far or that we are implementing? Strong internal coordination. So we have that internal coordination. We update our moderation team every day. So we have this platform, and it's much of update, and then they give us feedback. So it's very strong on that. So the baseline training planning. So all of our activities that we are doing is based on what we got from the baseline. Even the materials that we drafted for the trainings and educational material that we're giving is based on what was the baseline responses. Our impact school engagement is we are working directly with the club and the school is to make sure that the school is EPA and FPA's collaboration, thanks to the local authority on the ground, they have been very much impactful when it comes to the implementation of the project. Yeah, weekly updates. So, yeah.
This was the wrong piece. It's not, that's what we have. Please jump over the slide. It's a repeat.
So, what are our next steps? So, the project launch and preparation of a wall to Egotra solution. We'll be launching the project this month. We are officially launching the project this month because we're waiting for the materials to get in printed. So we'll be officially launching the project this month. We'll also commence the hearing of programs and drama related to the climate change and environment also this month. Community engagement, that will be active community engagement. We started last month and will be active community engagement. And this community engagement will be mostly in the communities that we are working in because we want them to come on board and then help us to plant this mangrove tree. So we'll have a public waste management service for fees and community awareness with EcoTribe. We'll work with EcoTribe to make sure that they kickstart their initiative. We'll also work with the Climate Club to complete the trainings of the 597. So like I said previously, we are in process of this 597. I think we should be around 300 or 250 as of December to complete this 597. And then we engage selected community in school to commence tree planting, develop and deploy data collection tools to track the tree survivors. So we are going to do a GPS tagging of all the trees that will be planted, so to know how many of them survive. And then climate sport tournament. You know, after receiving interacting with the students in Mori for something, so we'll bring them together. After climate sport tournament, I will be actually run by the Climate Club. And then business support service to EcoTribe, develop and deploy data collection tool for EcoTribe operation. We want to know how many waste they collect per day and how services is impacting the community. And also we also work with GCC to establish a mini park, that is coconut park, in front of GCC. In campuses, the sound modulature and the Methodist school are having space will also do the same. So that in the next 5 to 10 years to come, when the students go on campus looking for places to study, they can go on to coconut training, have a next hour step in the lesson. Yeah, thank you. So,
thank you for your dual presentation. Yeah, thank you very much. You and your boss collaborating. I was telling them not to mention something, but I did mention it. So, I mean, these are real issues, implementation challenges. You plan, and then, especially so if you don't take inflation into consideration, it impacts the project negatively. Again, we will ask you to sit down with the implementing grantees so that they can flesh out these challenges, ensure that we meet our targets, and ensure the success of the natural capital accounting, ensuring that it impacts the locals. Let's give them a very big hand of applause. This program has a lot of dignitaries in. The Dean work outside that Charles Asumana work outside the Dean of Science, Technology. Is the committee what again? Yeah, because it's long like paragraph. And then we have that the BK Robertson grazing location. That Robertson, let the people see you. That Robertson have worked in the area of the environment and climate change for a long time. In the United States of America, supporting Liberia many times. We have our program, you come down. Now he has decided to come to support the University of Liberia and strengthen our program. So professor at the university, now you're way university teaching white people. And now, you know, when I see someone here, a police and dealing with the white people, I can be so happy. But then he has come home to contribute. That you are welcome. Thank you very much. Like my man Mo, and who has come down. So I want to thank you for the presentation. We got presentation from Vademco and Basa. Basa is not Basa that Lofa beat, but this is Basa from Sando that never wait. Okay, I'm forgetting it. You are with him. You almost met Sando. But now, let's call TNC so that we can see what they are made of. I know where they two come from. We'll see. We'll allow you. If you're from Cape Town, then you alright because then you be grandchildren. But if from grandchildren, we'll laugh at you.
Thank you. Wapo. Okay. Set.
Good afternoon. My name is Marvelous Kuje, where I work for the Nature Compass. Even though Senior Brother Wapo said it as a joke concerning the false money and the real, but it's something that I experienced in real life. In real life. So I'm actually supporting me, and it's what the Nature Compass. So let me just share with you, my wife is a twins. Very identical twins. And so, don't worry, the presentation is very short. I don't know who's going to play one there. My wife's a twin, very identical. But when I started to get close to her, the twin sister was not around. We're in Maryland and the sister in the articles. And so the discussion went far advanced. And so this day I went to visit, not knowing the night the twin sister came to article. I didn't know that she came. So when I went to the house, I met the twin sister in the same Yaakov, my wife to be there now, or my friend. And so, you know, my wife is 30. The twin sister is 30. So when I got there, the twin sister didn't even show any sign of, she behaved on her sister. So she welcomed me, not knowing her sister had gone to the market. When I interested in her, I've gone to the market. And just the market, because I know pretty well with the towels, man, I don't go to the market. So I made a kind of it. She brought sit, we sat down, and normally now I try to reconnect what we stopped the discussion on the proposal. And she said, "Oh no, I'm not baking, I'm betting." I said, "Really?" I said, "When you came, she said, I came last night." I said, "Well, don't bake, you said you went in the market." I said, part. So when I was still there, I'm not very sure. When the one I was interested in came from the market, I said, okay, no, I don't have to go far. Let me just go back home. Because right now, something playing in my mind. So the first thing I need to do before start advancing is to first of all identify two of them first. Yes. So in that process, I went to Ghana. So I met this guy working at the bank, my best friend. I said, my man, please help me. How do you identify force money? So the guy said, at the bank here, we are trained to play with the original money. Once you pick up the counterfeit, you go straight. He said, why? I told him, okay, you know what? We go back to Liberia. Don't waste time on the one I don't want. The one you want. Focus on. Observe on talking, on interaction, everything. When the system comes, you notice that. And actually helped me a lot. And so what I did now, okay, if you want a banner of the story, just pay me, I'll let you know. Okay. So TNC had to be one of the implementing partner or the service provider on the NCA grant. We were tasked to actually apply to the approach to combat family abuse risk in Riverside County. So we are ready in Riverside County. So the nature compact. We are an environmental conservation, agricultural development, and natural resource management organization established in Liberia. And we get our office right of capacity zone junction, right of Matani Estate, capacity zone junction. This is our office. Once you get to the zone junction, you will see us. And for wet traction, we went in Nima, Grand Vassal, Riverside, Sino, Grand Cape Mon, Makili, Boni, and Papu. For different projects, not for the NCA project now, but then where you can see our traction, our actual work. And we specialize in providing support to government institutions, the FDA and the EPA in our areas. Introduction. You know, Riverside County, like all county, I know the coast, suffer also primary risks. And so we're asked to work along with farmers, identify farmers there in Riverside, to be able to apply farming smart agricultural activity and farming as a business concept to actually enhance our resilience so as to increase agricultural productivity and also build in a sustainable development model while at the same time considering biodiversity. And so we are not all over the process. We are in this academic community, 5 clusters, and these clusters were pre-selected by CIA because CIA have been working there as far as the project is concerned. And then we got it during the extension, the no-call extension. So CIA have done extensive work here. So all what they are reporting on in terms of conservation agreement, village saving, and all the impacts, these are community. These are the 5 of the 10 community you're talking about, the cluster, Sesto cluster, Point cluster, Nimbai cluster, Timber cluster, Zio and Swat cluster. So the beneficiary, we have direct beneficiary 130 households, and the indirect beneficiaries at the rate of 1 household is number 6. So you multiply 6 times 130, you get 780. So on the assignment, what is the technical package that has to be delivered on the assignment? We have smart agricultural practices and techniques, farming as a business concept, and we are also to provide planting material and farming tools and 2 demonstration sites. But just to let you know, we have already done all the training, the 2 sets of training, farming smart agricultural training and farming as a business. We have provided the farming tools, and we are by this month we'll be providing them with the planting material. So how did we select our beneficiary? Understanding local power dynamics. And so we have beneficiary selection criteria that look at transparency and fairness, need-based targeting, and we look at inclusive and equity and sustainability and commitment to continue the project to continue the activity post-project. Because we take this so as knowing project going to community, if you're not careful, local power dynamics want to influence the selection of your beneficiary. And so we take it as a guide. After we employ the selection criteria, we look here, you see cluster we have 47 farmers, 22 female, and 25 male. Meanwhile, we had 19 beneficiary, 9 female, 10. As you see here, so the total is 137 and 63%, plus the 48% are female, and 52% are male. I think the gender here will appreciate it, right? I think they'll be key to that. Yeah. So the beneficiary distribution chart, as I said, overall the female 48%, the male 51%, and most of the female are single household head. So we took that into consideration. Yeah. So key results, key achievement and results so far. We had inception and assessment meeting conducted 10. So each of the 5 clusters we went there with inception meeting to tell them about the project, and also we did an assessment to know all are interested in smart agriculture activity. So we have recruited 130 direct beneficiaries. For the 8% are women. We were also keen to understand the innovation. We also had age application. So we got to understand that 39% of the participants are youth. 2 sets of training were conducted, 2 training manuals were developed, one on smart agriculture and one on farming as a business. And we used those manuals to conduct the 2 sets of training. So in the training, 133% were trained, 70% females, 63% male. So you'll see that our beneficiaries were 130, but 3% added based on the interest they have shown in participating in the training. Then the farming tools to kill and test should be there. The farming tool is based on the needs assessment. We start with the community people and our beneficiaries to actually get the kind of tools they want to control their activity. And so we have here challenges and mitigation measures. And we've got to understand that 2 of our cluster committees across the Sesto River. And so crossing the Sesto River is about just a safety issue. So every time we had our office in Sesto City, so every time the fees start going there, every week they have to cross the Sesto River. They will have high community expectation. Every time new project goes to the community expects the new project to address all their needs. And so the issue of high expectation needs to be addressed. Participating limited knowledge on farming smart agriculture and farming as a business. Someone said it was the first time hearing the word farming as a business and farming smart agriculture. Local power dynamics and influence. These are challenges. How did we intend to address them? For the cost of the Sesto, we talk about using the ferry and the life-saving jacket. So on this project, we got to procure life-saving jackets and the use of the ferry, not the use of canoe, because canoe is very risky. And thank God that they have a ferry there, as you are seeing the photo here. So to address the high community expectation, extensive awareness meetings with community leaders and with beneficiaries, telling them about the project, making them understand that this is not a new project, it's what CI already been to the community that we are building on. And then training those. Then training and continual mentorship and demonstration will get to know why it's farming as a business and how farming as a business is linked to farming smart agriculture. Then clear communication on criteria-based selection. So that was able to address the issue of power dynamics. Nobody come tell us that my wife will be inside or my son should be part of the process. Or is a selection criteria that actually was implemented like actually be able. Another thing somebody asked, how do we intend to sustain the project? So we built in the sustainability strategy. And one of it is how to do with the community ownership. So before we provide the tools, provide the building material, we start with them so that we can actually read and give early ownership of the project. And so community ownership was very key. Then local partner working with other NGO in the community while at the same time leveraging TNC presence there. Even though we had an office there, we had a president where it was now the NCA project that took off from Oruvia to River Cess. No. We already had our office in River Cess, we already had our field staff there, we already have activity in River Cess. So even though we had a president there, we had to collaborate with other NGO that doing similar thing in the landscape.
income diversification, introduction of small-scale agribusiness. So what we are doing is that how we can move from other activities that can be introduced as part of sustainability strategy. The fourth bullet point is market potential and linkages. Organizing roundtable between producer and potential buyer in the region. But we have to address the issue of quality, quantity, application, and consistency. We know that there are some big companies in the landscape that may be interested in some of the crops that our farmer will be producing. And how do we supply them? So it means that we have to train our farmer in terms of volume, in terms of quality, in terms of quantity, and consistency in supply to be able to tap in the potential market and linkages. Policy engagement, advocacy for county resilient agriculture at the county level. So that have to work with government to make sure that we have some support for national agriculture to address the issue of climate resilience and climate adaptation in each of the country. We have to make sure that we have to make sure that the activity align with the REST agenda and also with the National Agricultural Development Plan. One is embedded in it, then you can get a full support of natural agriculture and other parts of life. Maybe I can tell you, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, my name is Alexander G. Rayu. I work with the TNC. I just wanted to make this clear. Our work in Riverside County is not predicated upon the NCA's grant. We're already working in the landscape. We've got this EcoGar program there that has been functioning long ago from the beginning of this year. And also, I just wanted to make clear that at the inception of this year, we had were approved as a lead partner to GZ, the ancestor sequence proposed protected area. So we're going to be the one to GZ the proposed protected area in Riverside County. So that's one of the reasons for which we were selected to implement the project. Additionally, we are the lead partner to GZ the first marine protected area through the thoughtfulness of NAFA. And we want to do one of the projects in Riverside County. So TNC presence has already been in Riverside County. So I just wanted to make that clear. Thank you.
Thank you. That more value added. Let's give them a very big hand of applause. You know, when the three grantees were presenting, I conducted my survey. I conducted my survey, and my survey results show that the three institutions are doing very well. You will agree with me, right? Yeah. They are doing very well. Let's clap for them. Then what I also discovered, all three of them come from defeated country where they were flogging all the kids. And Niva Bisano. And you know the other one want me to Baza. That's a fun part of it. But I want to say thank you so kindly. Bola, see you are here. Bola, please go correct your number. Okay. Double from that justice here? Okay. Double, you have to go, you're learning at double. Go on and then correct your number. One preacher, man, I don't know how he did it, training. He was preaching, either he made a mistake. Then he said, and Jonah refused to take the directive from God. And Jonah decided to go on your own. And Jonah, when the storm was heavy, they threw Jonah in the water, and Jonah swallowed the fish. So, one level, the audience said, excuse me, Pastor, excuse me, the fish swallowed Jonah. He said one thing that is certain is something that swallowed chocolate down there. Whether the fish swallowed Jonah, or Jonah swallowed the fish, or something that swallowed chocolate down there. Whatsoever your name is, the name we're talking about, the land in that double. So if you double, just go there, then you already find it, you know, whether I put money or that. And my man told the story it was nice. But I swear to my mommy didn't want the story incorrect. When you find out the way the story was going, there are three things that are probably happy. Either bad thing happy, some kind of hawk took place, or some kind of something took place. But the way you hear the story, it didn't do I tell you, don't do. The fact that you gotta go Ghana to go spend it. Alright, my man, that's okay, but you couldn't know the real money. Then you identify the false money. So I want to say thank you. We still have a lot of important things to do here, but what I've been asked as a way of ensuring that the people are here, documentary evidence. The project team asked me, if your police are not around, let them come. We'll go right outside, do the group photo, then we'll come back and take presentation of checks. We come and identify the real money. So let's see where the thing they come and get our real money or the other money. So we want to turn over to the project team, Joe, and take us out so we can do the group photo. Tell us what to do.
Thank you so much. So we can just get outside here and stand right in front of the banner that's at the corner of the wall. Choice. Stay there. Yeah. Francis. So that's standing. Luis.
Ramon?